We're going.
Zunday, Zunday, Zunday. Comic books and nonsense every Zunday. Zunday, Zunday, Zundy. Starring Ziggy and Captain Conti. Meet Captain Conti, I'm the skipper of the ship. While Ziggy is mostly around for antics. Why did they name it Funny Books anyway? Because Anticsny Books is a really, really stupid name, and it's really hard to say. Zunday, Zunday, Gabingy, TGIZ, thank God it's Ziggy. Funny Books Comics on YouTube, not really sponsored by Yoo-Hoo. Don't you dare miss a single episode of Zunday. Don't you miss an episode. Welcome to Zunday.
Oh, I thought you were going to go, of Sunday.
Maybe next time. Who knows what's going to happen when I start singing. Welcome to Zunday, everybody.
Welcome to Zunday.
And I am Captain Conti, and this, of course, is the Gilligan to my skipper, the man who puts the Z in Zunday, the I and the Y in Anticsny Books, and the two G's in Gabingy, the friendly face behind the Funny Books counter every Zunday, noon to 5, unless there's a home jet game, and I believe there's a couple of the dates coming up that you're not going to be here.
I think so.
Oh, you don't know them for sure.
I never know by my
something about Thanksgiving or
so the Sunday before and after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because I'll be out of town.
You meant to say Zunday, I know. It's a hectic Zunday. We're coming off of Funnyrama and Comic-Con.
Funnyrama and Comic-Con in the same week.
Yes.
We're mad people.
We're mad people. Also, number 32 on his whole hockey team. The leading voice in affirming it's Captain Marvel, not Shazam. He's the Nightcrawler in the Funny Books X-Men, the Robin in the Funny Books Justice League, and Pip the Troll in the Funny Books Infinity Watch. The proud owner of, how many? Did you get any at the con? Star Wars Funko Pops?
I almost got one, so it's still, I believe it's at 330.
330 Funko Pops, Star Wars. The creator of Blood Pickle and Secret Jew, and the operation of... the artist of Operation Pajama Pants.
And the operation of Artist Pants.
Yes, the operation of Artist Pants. That's pretty good. I like that. The man who enjoys Little Sebastian, Jar Jar Binks, Power Pack, and very short walks on the beach, just to the water and back to the blanket. He's a Devils and Jets season ticket holder. A guy who thinks only things that are terrible. He's a close personal friend of Scott Snyder now. And yes, it's true. He's Funny Books' first customer ever. TGIZ. Thank God it's Ziggy.
Pretty soon, that intro is going to be the entire show.
Pretty soon. And you do have a line here.
Oh. Gabingy.
And then I say McClunky.
And then I go into a 3-hour-long intro of Steve.
Please don't. I mean, my intro could go much longer than that, I believe. So, anyway, big week behind us. We're going to jump right into this. We have a lot to cover, especially starting with funny...
I was going to say, mine would be... He's the man that puts Steve in Funny Steve, and the man that puts Steve in Action Steve.
Yes.
And the man that puts
Conti in Captain
in
Conti.
Skipper Steve.
Yeah, yes, exactly, yes. And the man who puts the Conti in Coach Conti.
Yep.
And who puts the Steve in New Year's Steve. Let's not
forget.
He
puts the Steve in New Year's Steve.
Yes, that's pretty good. I like that. Has a good cadence to it. He puts the Steve in New Year's Steve. Could there be a new song coming? All right, so anyway, Funnyrama 6. This was a week ago, Zunday.
It was a week ago Zunday.
And we said we were going to do a Zunday before Funnyrama 6, but that quickly, as the week amped up, that quickly became, what were we even thinking that we could possibly do that?
We think we can do a lot of things.
Yeah, we do.
When it comes to Funnyrama.
So, let's go, you know what, I'm going to have to take my glasses off for this if you're doing a slideshow, I believe. So we want to show some pictures of Funnyrama 6. Everyone had a good time, I believe. I think we did, as good a job as we could have. Mm-hmm. There was 6 weeks to prepare.
People had a great time. If you were at Funnyrama, I think you had a wonderful time.
I think so too. By all accounts, it was a very good time. Behind the scenes, of course, we know what goes wrong. And what we could do better, definitely. But we're getting better and better. My sister said I was much better prepared this time, as far as things to do, in the hall the night before setting up and the day of. We fit everything in. to the show, which was amazing. I got there a little earlier this time.
Right.
Still hectic, but we want to thank everyone who came to Funnyrama 6 for coming out, especially all our special guests like Amanda and Jimmy and Brendan, Deneen. And if you didn't make it and you have a valid excuse, we understand that everyone's lives are busy. And, for instance, the twin at the last minute, his son's hockey game was moved to Sunday. He had no choice. He planned on coming. A lot of people, everyone has busy lives, and we get it. And this is my business. And anyone who did show up, I appreciate it. Anyone who wanted to show up but couldn't, I appreciate that too. But the room was pretty full.
The room was pretty full. It was
right.
great.
So what do we have? Image-wise.
All right, so we got, let's see. So we have our special guests that, here, I'm going to move this to the middle for this.
Okay, good.
We are still on screen, though, so.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So we had our special guests, Jimmy and Amanda.
Jimmy and Amanda.
And our favorite Anna came up.
Yes.
From college.
Our wonderful Anna.
To be at Funnyrama, and here they are together. Anna with Jimmy and Amanda.
Yeah, this is the first time Anna came back from college since she left.
Yeah.
And I don't expect her back until Thanksgiving. She's, by all accounts, really having a good experience, and she's involved. She has a job down there. I'm very jealous that she has another job, but, life goes on. And she's having a good time. So thanks, Anna, for coming all the way back up. And she really loved meeting Amanda and Jimmy. Ah, my crew. Look at that crew.
Yep, here it is, the Funny Force.
Yes, that is the Funny Force, and I believe that was we all got on stage. Were we all on stage for Good Ship Funny Books? I'm not sure.
No, I think just those of us that were singing.
Okay, so here we have Robert and
Kid Kirby.
Kid Kirby, and he was obsessed with winning the One of a Kind Funny Books T-shirt, which he did win. Which is great. So now we get to see this shirt, all the time.
In action.
Look at that. Next to Robert is Jordan, who's a
Funny Force original.
Yeah, an OG. He's OG. 11 when we opened. It was great to see him. I love hanging out with Jordan. Look who's next to Jordan. KTK.
Kevin the Kid.
And next to him is me. It's Bride of Frankensteve. Oh my God!
He puts the Steve in Bride of Frankensteve.
Yeah, I did Bride of Frankensteve this time as opposed to Frankenstein last time. I didn't realize when I planned to be Bride of Frankensteve that Bride of Frankenstein is white as opposed to Frankenstein who's green.
Yeah.
Is this true?
That is true.
Okay. Next to that, kind of you sitting next to me there. Well, on the floor there is Ziggy sporting the orange Funny Books T-shirt like this right here. And then behind Ziggy is Catherine. This is a new girl. She came to the Funny Books for the first time a couple weeks ago. She was interesting. She was into Hellblazer. She's extremely polite and sweet. So I asked her maybe she wants to help out at Funnyrama. She did, and she came as a Hellblazer, which is kind of cool.
Very cool.
Next to her is classic Funny Force member Erin. Also Samara, the Ring Girl, who was there for Bride of Funnyrama 5 as the Ring Girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to have the sequel and have the Ring Girl back. I made sure that I watched The Ring 7 days before Funnyrama so that she would show up.
Smart.
Yeah, she came right out of the television at the bar. And then next to her is Jade. Jade, who did my makeup and who did the makeup at Funnyrama 5 and 6,
Mm-hmm.
and she's amazing. And it's great to see Jade, and I love hanging out.
And
with
that's
Jade.
what we were planning on having. The pre-Funnyrama ZUNDAY would be a live watching of the makeup be put on Steve by Jade, but
yeah,
that was an insane.
Yes, that hour was
too.
crazy. And then Valerie, my gal Val, Funny Books gal Val. Who came with bunny ears, and I'm glad that Val could make it too. And we could talk a little bit more about how we all went to the after party after we go over some more stuff.
And here's Steve with Jimmy and Amanda.
There we are. Three's Company, I believe we were using as a soundtrack for this group. Okay, what else we got? Yeah.
What do we got?
It's the
Lake
Hiawatha
Hiawatha
Think Tank. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jinx.
Yep, I owe you a yoo-hoo. So there's my buddy Sideshow Steve, who's my musical director and sound effects guy, who came all the way up from New Orleans for this. There I am again, Bride of Frankenstein. Steve, now I don't know if we have any pictures with me with the full dress on, but I did come out with the full dress.
He did come out with the full dress
to do the monologue, and then I switched to sequin jacket for the
I know
rest
I've
of the
seen
show.
a picture of it. So
Yeah,
it's somewhere.
Yeah, well, I am with Miss Funny Books. I have the dress on the picture. If we have that picture here, and then there's Ziggy and Chris Sterical, Chris Wichendahl, and together we and with Jeff, who couldn't make it because he's in California.
Yep.
We create the show.
That's right. And then we have the award-winning.
Oh, mini books, the award-winning mini books. Yes. Now this is Catherine in mini books. I guess I can skip to talking about this because this was one of my favorite parts of Funnyrama.
Go for it.
So before the Happy Birthday song to mini books, I asked Catherine, would she mind putting on mini books and being our mini books for Happy Birthday?
Mm-hmm.
She just had to stand there and pantomime, and we were going to have a voiceover, and she just had to basically react to the voiceover, and Ziggy was the voiceover. So
which I found out I was doing 30 seconds before the segment.
yes, yeah, and I apologize for that. I didn't realize you couldn't think on your feet.
Well, that's the problem. I was sitting on the floor. I was hiding. I wasn't on my feet.
Right. So we've done this bit once before, and the bit is that we do not tell the person who's wearing mini books that we are going to, say things like, watch me stand on one foot and watch me do jumping jacks. And it's such a funny bit. I'm never sure if the crowd gets the bit because the crowd doesn't know either.
Right.
That we're making up stuff for this poor girl Catherine, her first time working for us.
Right.
To do.
And mini books is always saying it in a first person perspective. So mini books, and the person inside mini books doesn't know that this is coming, but the character of mini books is talking, and the character of mini books will say like, "Oh, watch how good I am at standing on one foot." And now the person in there is hearing this, and they have to be like, "Okay, I guess I have to do that because in character, I'm the one saying this."
Yes, and I'm telling you, I'm spinning around, jumping jacks, switching feet really fast, and Catherine did such a great job. I have the video. We have to somehow get this video up because she actually did a better job than I even thought she did. Watching it again, she does a lot of hand gestures.
Yeah.
And, she was just fantastic, and it was so funny. But like I said, no script. My fault. Last time we had a full script, so I asked Mini Books what her favorite comic book is, and after about 10 minutes of dead silence.
I had no answer to this question.
Nothing. Ziggy's mind went completely blank with no answer. I mean, you could say anything. It doesn't matter.
Right. And I was just like...
Yeah. So I finally say, maybe voiceover guy, tell us what your favorite comic book is. Totally breaking the whole thing. And I think eventually you did say Hellblazer.
Because Catherine was dressed
and that would have been a great answer, like, right away, of course.
Right.
And
I don't even think it wasn't even me that came up with it. It was Hysterical. He was just like, say Hellblazer.
Right. Yeah. And then I had a point at the Action Figure Kingdom sign for you to say Action Figure Kingdom.
Oh yeah. And then that was actually my favorite part. Is he goes, maybe Action Figure Kingdom is your favorite comic book, and then Mini Books goes, no, that's terrible.
yes, that's true. Yeah. Ziggy has the high pitched Mini Books voice. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. What else do we have here?
Let's see. Oh, something you're all familiar with.
Oh, there we are.
The crew of ZUNDAY.
The crew of ZUNDAY. Look at us.
Yeah. Wait.
Ziggy, you're so funny. There I am with the Goose Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, now this kid's great. He came in the other day. I'm kind of jumping around ahead.
Oh, and here you are. This is while you're still in the full dress.
Oh, yeah, I am in the full dress there. So Goose Kid came to last Funnyrama and famously asked Amanda Connor on a Zoom call, what do you think of geese, when I opened the floor up for questions? And no one was expecting this question. And I loved it. And it is probably refreshing, to be asked a question that's completely nonsense.
The friend of Goose Kid, whose name I don't remember.
Right, they're brothers, I believe.
Yeah, the one in green here. You can see he's holding a toilet brush.
That is Goose Kid.
Is that Goose Kid? Okay.
Yeah,
not the one dressed as a goose.
No, that's not Goose Kid.
You'd think the one dressed as a goose would be
Goose
Goose
Kid brought his brother dressed as a goose. So,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Well, Goose Kid then, so he won that toilet brush in Let's Make a Funny Deal.
Yes, he did, yeah.
And, generally speaking, in Let's Make a Funny Deal, you can win funny money, you can win all these prizes, and then, but if you make the wrong choices, you could end up with a booby prize. But in this particular case, the toilet brush was supposed to be a booby prize, but he was happier with that toilet brush
than $20
than I think he would have been with any amount of funny money.
Yeah, he had $20 in funny money. He traded it for the box.
Yeah.
The box had the toilet brush in it. He was so excited, and actually I signed this toilet brush. And he said he was going to go home and build a glass case and put it behind the glass case.
It's amazing. He was showing it. He was going around the show, and showing it to everybody, like, check out what I won.
And the other kid that played got a potty training award. I don't think he was as thrilled. And then the other thing, oh yes, nice.
Well,
yes.
this is a bit of a segue. So this is Michael Myers' Cat in the Hat.
Yes.
And Michael Myers' Cat in the Hat was also playing Let's Make a Funny Deal.
Yeah, he was the first contestant in Let's Make a Funny Deal.
And he, at one point, had a picture of me.
Yes. Oh, we call it the Aw Ziggy picture.
Yeah. And
can you reprise that pose? Yes.
And the idea was, because the picture had funny money taped to the back,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And the idea was that nobody wants this picture of me, so you would trade it away, hoping to get funny money, and then you learn, after you've traded it away, had you kept it, there was funny money on the back. But he ended up keeping it.
Yes.
Because he wanted the picture.
Yeah, he wanted the picture.
He brought it to me to sign.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't want to give away this person's real identity.
Right. No. His real identity is Michael Myers' Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. So, but I know, because I know who it is now.
Yeah.
That this particular customer, a great customer, a great guy, low maintenance customer like most of our customers, and really big into comic books. He must have a full Funny-Rama shrine at his house. He's won multiple awards, multiple costume contest awards. Other things, and now he has this Ziggy picture. Yes. So, good for him. Anything else?
Finally, in our Funny-Rama pictures,
there is Samara. Me and Samara, ring girl Erin, who is actually on a cruise right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she went on a cruise. And speaking of cruises.
In February, I will be going on the Comic-Con cruise.
Yeah. So, Ziggy's going on this Comic-Con cruise that leaves out
with special guests. Jimmy and Amanda, who you know from Funny-Rama.
Yes.
Also, Adam Hughes is going to be there, which is kind of neat.
Big turd. Anyway, listen. So anyway, Comic-Con cruise is going to leave out of Tampa Bay. It sounds like fun. There's still tickets available if anyone, ZUNDAY viewers, want to go. On the Comic-Con.
Also, George Takei is going to be there.
Oh, okay, George Takei. So basically, Act 1 of the monologue, Act 1 of Funny-Rama. We're talking fast because we have a lot to get to. I did my monologue. By all accounts, it was okay. It included the top 10 why you're at Funny Books, with number 1 being Nightwing's butt for a second Funny-Rama in a row.
That's right.
I was the Bride of Frankenstein. I did the Lake Show. I interviewed Brendan Deneen on stage live. He was great. He's a really good interview. He's well-spoken, energetic, and he gets his point across great. We really appreciate him coming to the show. Then I did an interview with Amanda and Jimmy, which I didn't write any questions because, I know them so well. I just figured we'd have a conversation. I don't even remember what it was, and I don't know if we have any footage of it. We'll talk about that in a minute. I sang a new song, the Funny Books Bop, or Let's Go Down the Funny Books, based on the Ramones how do you say that?
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop. Brand new song. I ended the monologue with that. And then after the interviews, we went right into Hub Game, which I screwed up pretty much. No one was getting eliminated in Hub Game.
First of all, it was insane. It was as if everybody came here secretly at night and studied the system because they were getting every answer correct.
Yeah.
The whole room, it would be like, here's 4 names, avoid the one we have the least of. And then the one that we had the least of would have zero
people on it.
0 people in it.
And it's not like there was one that was contrived like that, but the first question, the names are almost equal in the system. It's like 25, 25, 25, and 24. And somehow everyone avoided that 24 name.
This happened like 3 times.
Yeah, and
in a row.
that really got the game off to a bad start because the second round was a tie. A planned tie. So the first round was supposed to eliminate a lot of people. The second round was a planned tie. I think that's the way I did it. Then I had a round where it was ridiculous. It was like, very common names like, a Dave, Steve, Scott, and then like something like Neil, and avoid the one we only have one of. So that was, get on the one we have one of. That was just designed so everyone would get on one square to be fun, but everyone was still on the floor, so they couldn't even fit into that one square.
But they all did pick the right one.
They all did, yep. And then in a panic, the next step of the game, so the floor is divided up into 4 quadrants, and we have 4 names, and you have to avoid the hot quadrant. And if you're on the hot quadrant, whatever it is, you get eliminated. But to step up the game, we take one of the tapes off. Now it's half and half.
Right.
So that people get eliminated quicker. So in a panic, sounds like we have some first responders. So hopefully everyone's okay. And we always thank our first responders here in Parsippany. They do a really good job. Anyway, so I prematurely pulled the tape up, making it half and half, and then I read a 4 question.
He read a 4 question.
For 4 quadrants.
And he tried to combine the 4 question into a 2 question. So instead of being like, avoid the most, he said avoid the most and least.
And I eliminated everybody.
And and the most was on one side of the half, and the least was on the other side of the half. So by doing this, he eliminated the entire. I ran up on stage. I'm like, Steve, you just eliminated everybody.
Yeah. So
he's like, what? Okay, let's forget that one.
It was a little messy, but the winner of Hub Game was Kieran. Kieran won
Hub Game.
And he's a great guy. He actually helped us set up the room the night before. He had no inside information.
Yeah.
And I saw Kieran yesterday. He came in and got his Hub Game prize.
It was a very a lot of the games threw us for loops.
Yes.
This year, like with the rock paper scissors tournament.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that was a bit of a problem. That was my fault. I think
it wasn't your fault.
We should have opened up the brackets earlier. Might have been able to fill 8 brackets.
Well, I don't. We could have, but also, it wasn't that we couldn't fill the brackets. It's that so what happened was we were filling brackets, and we were just about to have 4 brackets filled, which is still a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? And 4 brackets is like 32 people.
Yeah.
That's a decent tournament.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I needed 2 more names. And I say to Val, I go, Val, I need you to find me 2 people to fill this bracket. She goes, no problem. She goes off. She comes back with 2 people plus an entire other bracket filled.
Yeah.
So now we have 5 brackets.
Yeah.
Which is mathematically precarious.
It's hard to do a elimination.
And basically, where it left us with was a final 3 instead of a final 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so then we were like, well, what do we do? And then I had to be like, Steve, go kill time. I have to go do math and figure out how we're going to do this.
And I think that's when we did Name That Sale.
And that's when you did Name That Sale.
Yes,
so I had to go off and I had to write down the 3 names and start coming up with combinations. And finally I was able to come up with this double elimination scenario so that all 3 people, because you wanted all 3 people to have an equal chance.
Yes.
And so I came up with this double elimination scenario where all 3 of them would have an equal chance.
Yes.
And it ended up working out.
Yes.
But in the moment, we were like, I don't know.
Look, I had to bail out of that decision.
Steve was like, that is all you guys.
Yeah, I was like, my head isn't working. I should have had my brain doesn't work.
My brain doesn't work.
So that was won. The 100-hour rock, paper, scissors was won by one of our creators, Mike Spear.
Yes.
He won it. So that's good. In fact, almost every single prize I gave away was given away to a Funny Books regular. several people commented how it was great. Everyone who won a prize obviously comes to the stage, and I had a little story to tell about everyone. And I had said in a previous Sunday how that's the best part about this business, how it's like we're kind of like friends, right?
Yeah.
And so it was nice. And then look, I promoted Funnyrama only within the Funny Books community. I could have done a broader reach, got more people, and sold more tickets.
Right.
But that's not the purpose of Funnyrama. It's a give back to our community, our customers. And so I'm really happy. I'd rather have less people, but be our people.
Right.
And give our prizes, our great prizes. I mean, listen, prizes were flying out the door. Jeff McGinley, who's been shopping here since day one practically, won the door prize, the Amanda door prize. And by the way, Amanda and Jimmy,
at the games we were giving out back issue bucks. We were giving out
the blind boxes.
the blind
Everyone
box
got 2 comics.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. The girl dressed as the one Harley Quinn, not Anna, the other one. They won the action figure game.
Right.
They got every single action figure. We ran out of action figures. They memorized them all. You took one away, they knew which one it was. So they did the whole board. By the way, Amanda and Jimmy, special thank you, because they not only did they sign everything for free, but they also drew a lot.
They drew a lot. They were hanging out.
That's
the whole time.
unheard of, that you're going to get an Amanda sketch for free. And she drew on everything. She drew on the door prize, I think she signed. She drew on the $150 art book that someone won. The statue that we gave away, she signed. It was really amazing that they did that. So we have to keep going. But so, yeah, after that, we sang the Good Ship Funny Books.
Yep.
We rolled that into the Happy Birthday Mini Books segment. We did Yoo-Hoo and Cupcakes. Then we had the costume contest. Now this I was kind of a little checked out of. We had 3 judges. Prizes were given away. I believe the Harley won. I believe Jem won Most Original. I'm not sure what else went down there. Then we did Let's Make a Funny Deal. Gave away the toilet brush.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did Name That Sale, which was basically questions on all the Funny Book sales. That went fairly well, too.
Yep.
Then Act 3 was the Rock, Paper, Scissors finale. We read the Tricky Train names. We read the door prize names. And then we sang the Funny Books closing song, which is always just... I love the closing song of Funny Books. And then we all went to Fuddruckers. Not the whole room, but people that were involved in Funny Books, Funnyrama, and the creators, some of the creators that can make it. Amanda and Jimmy came. I don't want to leave anyone out, but it was me, it was Jordan, my friend Mitch from Long Island, who showed up at the last minute again for his second Funnyrama. He shows up when it's over.
It shows up when it's over.
It's crazy. He says, "I like to be fashionably late." That's a Mitch imitation. So of course,
good imitation,
right? Kid Kirby, Kevin the Kid,
the guy who I don't remember his name. He was set up at Funnyrama with the board game.
Yeah, that's CJ. That's Val's friend CJ.
Yeah.
Yep, and that was cool. People were always playing that game.
He did a nice video. Did you see his video?
I saw it. Yep, it's on Instagram.
He did a reel.
We collaborated with him, so it's on ours and his. Yeah. By the way, CJ's board game Kickstarter is up. It's called what did they change the name of it? It was called Pickup Artist. Now it's called Heart.
Go to the Funny Books Instagram and
I should
and
know
find
that. But who else was there? Amanda and Jimmy.
Brandon.
Sideshow Steve.
Doug
No,
Barron.
I'm talking about Fuddruckers.
Oh, I thought at Funnyrama. Oh, at Fuddruckers.
Yeah. Sideshow Steve.
Sideshow
obviously.
Steve. Yeah.
Chris didn't make it, but we had a really good time. Fuddruckers was good. That was the perfect place to go, I thought.
Yeah,
you know,
it was very, very good.
We've gone there previously after Funnyrama Spring Break, Fanboys Gone Wild, the famous Evan Dorkin toilet bowl salad incident. Okay, so, so that was Funnyrama. It was a ton of work, but I like doing stuff like that. I wanted to throw a big party for everybody.
Yep.
And
you did.
I did. And the post Funnyrama cleanup was something else. Monday we did the haul.
Yeah.
Monday morning, it was a lot of catching up with orders and paperwork. Then we cleaned the haul out. Tuesday was a set up the store day. And actually Tuesday night I went up to my parents' house in West Milford for my father's 91st birthday dinner. Yes, happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and squeezed that in. Next day was New Comic Day and straight to Comic-Con. Me and Ziggy left here at about 2:30, right? To go to Comic-Con. So this was a Wednesday retailer-only day at Comic-Con. You want to get that Yoo-Hoo?
Let's get the Yoo-Hoo.
Z for Zunday.
Z for Sunday.
Now, don't make a mess of yourself, kid.
I always do.
Okay, so this Yoo-Hoo toast is actually to Funny-Rama 6. Put it in the books.
Put it in the books.
It feels good to not only do a Funny-Rama 6 and give back something, but it feels good to have the work done. And clearly, like, I like this because it clearly turns the page. Funny-Rama, Comic-Con, now we're ready to move on to, we all know what's coming, and it's Christmas season. Or the holidays, let's call it.
That's right.
So this is for Funny-Rama 6, the 32nd, not 30 seconds, but 32nd birthday of Funny Bucks. Whoa.
Oh.
Look out.
Who's the exploding Yoo-Hoo now?
I guess I am.
We didn't do the actual cheers.
Sorry. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Funny-Rama 6. Yoo-Hoo. There's nothing like it.
Shake it.
By the way,
Funny-Rama and Zunday, not actually affiliated with Yoo-Hoo.
I think I bought 72 Yoo-Hoos. What's 24 times 3? 72.
Yeah.
I had about 20 left, which is awesome.
He's just been pounding Yoo-Hoo.
How cold
since
is
then.
this Yoo-Hoo?
I know.
Oh my god, this thing is frigid.
It's the Ice Z. Nothing keeps two cans cold like an ice.
Damn, that's good. I can't believe they're still selling that. The first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Oh no, it's water.
It's water.
Okay. All right, so yeah, then right to the con for the retailer only Wednesday day, which is basically publishers and distributors like kind of pitching retailers and telling you what's up. Ziggy and I walk in, and guess who's speaking? Todd McFarlane, right?
Yep.
Todd McFarlane is speaking, and everyone in it's a really nice room on top of the Javits with a view of the Hudson River, and it's all retailers and professional people in the room. Everyone's wearing black, and I walk in with the new orange Funny Book shirt with a long sleeve orange underneath.
Yeah.
I look like the sun walking into that room.
Which there was competition because the actual sun
Yeah.
was
Yes.
beating. There's the Javits is these giant windows.
Yeah.
This is how I was watching every presentation.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, Todd looked right at me when I walked in because I was like, I looked like a prisoner walking into the room.
They set up the stage right below the windows and then scheduled every panel at sundown.
Yes. Yeah.
So the sun, oh god,
Yes.
it's crazy.
So Todd was talking in industry,
Yeah.
and told some great stories, including how he got into the industry, which was by his account, he was in line to show his portfolio. He realized he wasn't going to make it to the front, but that the guy would have to there's a lot of competition, but the guy would actually eventually have to take a bathroom break. So he met him. He stood by the bathroom and waited for the guy, and pitched him from the urinal next to him, which I don't recommend really. But he was actually everyone who shops at Funny Books knows I'm not a big Todd guy as far as his characters, his storytelling, even his artwork. I'm kind of the generation before that. But I have a lot of respect for Todd after the speech. He made a lot of sense. Typically, retailers ask, a couple of them ask a bunch of stupid questions, and he handled it really well. And he made a lot of sense. And also, afterwards, he gave away these Spawn comics that were signed. And what was really funny was he goes, okay, so when I'm done talking, we'll have the Spawn comics over by the table, and there's only like 300 of them.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want with them. He ends his speech. All the retailers rush over to the table, and I go straight to Todd. No one went over there hardly.
Right. They need to get their signed.
They have to
Todd
get that
comic
signed
book.
Todd comic book. So got a great picture with Todd. Do you have that? There I am with Todd McFarlane. And the funny thing was, I told him I dunked him in a dunk tank at Heroes World.
Yeah.
And he goes, I remember you, but of course he was. A lot of people dunked him that day.
Right.
But he doesn't remember the dunk tank. And then the next day, Ziggy and I are on the floor of
show
Comic-Con.
floor,
And it's packed, right? It's packed. Someone taps me on the shoulder, I turn around. It's Todd McFarlane. He goes, I know you. right? I wasn't even wearing the orange shirt
Right?
anymore.
Yeah. No. Let me tell you, Steve's very memorable.
I guess so. So,
That was a great night.
yeah.
With at that Wednesday night, there was a lot of presentations,
including DC's. DC was last. This was a Lunar. Lunar's our distributor. They distribute Image,
Yeah.
DC, Mad Cave, a bunch of other ones. So everyone who's distributed them through them did presentations. The first one was more of it was Distillery, Oni Press,
Yeah.
and a retailer consultant. But the second one was Lunar, and then DC went last, and then one of the guests who spoke was
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder.
And I got a picture with Scott Snyder afterwards.
He's no Todd McFarlane, but he's Scott Snyder. He was very great. He gave a great.
Listen, Tom McFarlane didn't do Absolute Batman, and everybody.
Yes,
this was Absolute Batman.
So this last year Ziggy and I had a roundtable with DC. They then did a Zoom call with us. There's several retailers that they are speaking to for what's going on in the store. We're one of them, and so Wednesday night we got invited to dinner.
Yep.
And trust me, after all this, I wanted to go home in the worst way, but I could not turn down this offer to go to dinner with Lunar and DC.
Yeah.
And we had a great time. DC is this all in. Scott Snyder told us all about the 5-year plan, which basically begins with All In, the special, which we're going to have to get second printing, which we're waiting for second printings, Absolute Batman, which we're waiting for second printings, Absolute Wonder Woman and Superman are next. Wonder Woman is this Wednesday, so you might want to get on the hub and order it now because Batman flew out of here quick. And then Superman's
I didn't even get
next.
to read it.
Me neither. So Scott Snyder did a whole thing about the plans for Absolute Batman. Not spoiling a lot, but Ziggy and I were very impressed with DC. DC's really doing some great stuff right now.
Yep.
I just put the window poster up, All In, and they've been very responsive to us. So we're very excited about what DC's doing. And
We have a lot of DC fans.
Yeah,
in
and
the store.
and we went out to dinner with them, and they have actually listened to us in several accounts. We've made some differences, and then that was a mixer. Then the next day, we went back in again, right? And there was more meetings and stuff, but at some point, in the same room, at some point we decided to walk around, and get out of there, which was really good because, first of all, we did get to say hi to Amanda and Jimmy again. And then we saw a couple other people in Artist Alley. We were kind of late. People had left. Jeff Lemire had left, and that would have been cool.
Right.
I had never met him, but we did see Rick Parker.
We did see Rick Parker. I want to see this. So I'm gonna run off camera for a second. I want to see what the date is on that drawing.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So Rick Parker did a signing back at Funny Books when we were at 100 when he was the artist of Beavis and Butthead. And he was a couple tables down from Amanda, and he remembered us. And Ziggy, we didn't get that picture. They took the pictures. We didn't get them.
No, we have no evidence.
Yeah, we should have taken a picture with Rick. We have photo problems sometimes. While Ziggy's doing that, let me say, if anyone has any photos of Funnyrama, especially if anyone has any video of the monologue, the song.
Yeah.
We don't have anything.
We
somehow don't have it recorded, a couple snafus, and then the pictures that we took on our main camera, they're gone.
It's so weird.
I don't know what happened, if they accidentally got erased, if I don't know. I don't know
if
what
it was
happened.
just in the wrong setting and wasn't taking pictures the
No,
entire time.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't think it's possible on the camera, but anyway, we really need to...
Hey, anything's possible.
So anyway, we really...
we're still on this picture.
We really need... there's a lot of Scott Snyder.
That was a lot of Scott Snyder.
You're in charge of that. So we would like any pictures. You can, I guess, email them to funnysteve@optonline.net, or just come on in and we could do an airdrop or whatever.
And any way you want to send it.
Yeah, however you can get us pictures. You could always hashtag Funnyrama6 on your own post on Instagram, I guess, but I don't know if I can get that picture.
Sure you can. You just right-click and save.
Oh, is that how you do it? Okay, so...
Well, Instagram's tough, but...
And then another thing about hitting the floor that was really good for me personally was, I'm also the creator, writer, and artist of the comic book Action Figure Kingdom. Just put out my 16th issue. And so I wanted to go around to the book publishers that are in the middle grade reading space. And I went up at the Scholastic booth, Scholastic being basically the pie in the sky of middle grade book publishers. Their graphics imprint, which is Dogman, is the number one. Scholastic's the number one book publishing company in the United States, and graphics is the most successful of the middle grade. So I wasn't really pitching, but I do like to show my face there and see what's going on. And the guy behind the table said, "Why don't you come to the Scholastic offices tomorrow night for our celebration of 20 years of graphics?" And so I took the invitation, and really had no plans to come back into New York City for a third night in a row after Funny Rama and all that. But this was an opportunity too good for me to pass up. So the next day I called Valerie. And she's an art teacher. I thought she might find this interesting, and she'd be a good wingman for me, because she's so great. Everyone loves Valerie. So she agreed to go, and it was hectic. I closed the store early, which I hate to do. I hate it. I sent out an email.
I saw the sign though that you posted on Instagram. It was a good sign.
Okay, good. Yes, I did a visual sign. I sent out I made an email and sent it out. I did posts. I put a sign on I did everything I could. I even called a couple people that sometimes shop here on Friday. Yeah. Just to let them know, people that might come from further away. But I hated to do it, but we did. I left at 4:30. I went and snagged Val. We drove in. We got into Soho. We drove into Soho, parked. We had about 20 minutes before going in. Luckily, I lost my invitation, but I called Ziggy. Good thing you told me what entrance to go in. That made it much simpler.
Probably made it much simpler.
Well,
good thing you asked me to ask what entrance to go in.
I did ask you the logistics of getting into the building. So anyway, so we go in, and this is in Soho, a nice building. I was blown away by Scholastic. Such great offices. Yeah. I walk in, there was a big guy dressed as Dogman. We got our name tag, and then we all walked into this kind of a auditorium of sorts. Yeah. You have a picture of the auditorium?
Yeah, we have, let's see.
So this was a 20th birthday celebration of Graphics, the imprint. David Saylor, the publisher, and he's the co-founder of Graphics. He was there, and they had a panel that was... each of these people are working for Graphics. The guy on the left is doing this. I covered up. Is doing the book Unico, which was a free comic book day comic, and it's kind of an Americanized color manga. This is their next thing that they're going to be doing is manga. They're adding it to it, right? But like a lot of it's going to be left to right, I believe, and in color, right? Which is going to be great. This is going to be great for us. Let me see who else.
Then we got Jamar,
who is a friend of ours, and we've seen him at we're traveling with this Kids Love Comics group doing different conventions, and Jamar's a big timer with that group, and everyone got to speak and tell a little thing. I'm really sorry that I can't remember everyone's name, but then there's Renee. Oh no, so that girl is working on Babysitter's Club after Renee gave it up. Then that's Renee Telemiger. Is that how you say her name?
If you say so.
I think so. And then Scott McCloud. And
Understanding Comics.
Oh my God. So this was great. And what a cool room. Yeah. You could put it back.
And then
so
right there on the end.
Right there on the end, but he was a surprise guest. The way this was handled was they were talking about Bone, which is Ziggy's all-time favorite, Bone and Sandman.
Best book ever made.
Right?
Bone.
Ziggy's, and in fact, when we went to the con, you got Bone issues. Remember?
Yeah. The first thing I bought is I picked up 5 issues of Bone. Yeah. That I had previously owned but had lost or destroyed in my youth.
Right. So they're talking about Bone, and then they asked an open-ended question: can anyone name the three main Bones? You know, the three main characters in Bone. And some guy from the front row raises his hand, and it's Jeff Smith, the creator of Bone, is sitting there, the surprise guest of the night. And
that's amazing.
It was amazing. I was like, oh my God, Ziggy is going to be so jealous.
At the same time, I was also having a very good night because I was at what was for me my second DC dinner of the con.
Yes.
So DC had originally scheduled a dinner with retailers that I was going to. Steve originally couldn't make it, and that's how we ended up having that dinner on Wednesday night with them.
Right, because I couldn't make.
There
Friday.
was Steve and a few of the other retailers that were hanging about were all people who couldn't make it Friday, and then Nancy from DC, she was just like, let's just go now.
Yeah, let's do now.
And I go,
and that was great. It was really nice.
And I was like, well, I'm going to be there on Friday, but if Steve's going, I have to go where Steve goes tonight. So
yeah, we haven't discussed that Friday dinner yet, but
it was good.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. So they're all doing presentations, and then they're like, hey, we're having a party. Let's go. And we take elevators up to the rooftop party in Soho. Wow. Listen, amazing views of the city. It was the most beautiful night of all time, and this place was Valerie described it afterwards as a fever dream. She's like, what just happened? There was cotton candy shaped as Dogman.
Wow.
Dogman was there. There was a pasta bar, macaroni and cheese, all different kinds of macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
They were passing around sliders and pigs in a blanket, I guess they call them. They were making fancy drinks. There was a candy bar, like a bar with just candy. You had a spoon and you put candy in a cup. It was amazing. And the offices are spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, it's so nice, and everyone was so nice. I did get to talk to David Saylor, who's the publisher. And I did get to bring up Action Figure Kingdom. This is a pie in the sky dream, but boy, if Scholastic would ever publish me, I really felt like that would be a really good home for Action Figure Kingdom.
Right.
After the presentations and hearing the personal stories and just getting a vibe of the company, I was like, boy, I felt like I was at my house at one point, especially with the candy bar, the bar and the pasta bar. So anyway, I was like, well, Val, I got to get a picture with Jeff Smith and send it to Ziggy. And I did. There's me and Jeff Smith. Now listen, after my photo of Todd McFarlane and myself, I was like, okay, I just posted the best photo. Yeah. I can't post another photo of me and another creator. Where do you go after Todd McFarlane? Jeff Smith.
And
holy moly.
I cannot tell you how jealous I am. I mean, I bought. Let me tell you something. I bought Bone in its entirety in 6 different formats.
Yeah, you did.
6 different formats. I've gotten.
And there's a new format coming. They displayed it at the.
Did they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All the spines make a picture.
See, but it's still just those color trades probably. Just
I
with
think so.
printing new spines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I bought Bone in the original comic books. And then I got the original self-published black and white trades. Then I got the black and white 1-volume edition, which was like the originator of the compendiums and things that happen, now that everyone's doing, the omnibuses, the compendiums. That all started with Jeff Smith and the Bone 1-volume edition, and then he signed on with Scholastic and did the color volumes. So I bought the color volumes. That's 4. And then, digital comics became a thing. And I'm like, well, if I'm on my iPad, I got to be able to read Bone. So I bought the whole series digitally. And then finally he put out a color hardcover slipcase edition of the 1-volume edition.
And you have that too?
And I bought that too.
Oh my God.
For $6.
And I met him.
And you met him. and had this amazing picture with him. But you told him I love him.
I did, because you have a friend who really loves Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
And you took a picture of Scott Snyder and told him you told Scott
Yes.
Snyder that,
And he goes, tell him I love him.
yeah, so I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with the Jeff Smith picture.
Yeah.
I told him you loved him. And he was great. And listen, we what he said in his when he was talking was how he did Bone sort of for himself.
Yeah.
And it just resonated, especially with kids. Obviously, adults, Bone is...
There's never been a more truly all ages
all
book.
ages. And
than Bone.
honestly, I feel like I have a similar thing going on with Action Figure Kingdom, where really I wrote it for me, sort of. I didn't really intend it to be necessarily a middle grade reading book. That's kind of where it's grown in popularity. But so I had
5 minutes.
I had a really good discussion with him about that.
That's
and,
yeah.
and it was amazing.
So awesome.
I couldn't believe it.
So awesome.
And then I also got to meet Scott McCloud, which is insane.
Yeah.
So Scott,
Also a big fan of Scott McCloud.
talk about amazing people that I like. I almost didn't go. I didn't want to close the store early, And I'm telling you, if Val hadn't agreed, to be my wingman, basically on this, because I figured, that this way at least I can, have another reason to go. Take Val into the city for a night. And so I wound up meeting Scott McCloud, who did Understanding Comics, which I love that book, and I'm all
It's another
about.
book I've read multiple times.
I'm all about storytelling, and I had the best conversation with him about pacing, panel size, storytelling. I was like, I'm all about what you're talking about in your book, and I feel kind of bad because I was so blown away. He was signing with Renee.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how to say her name. I think it's Telemiger. It's complicated. But I was so focused on him, I barely talked to her. And they actually drew a sketch in a book, which is a reading copy of this
look at that.
book they have coming out.
It would have been perfect.
What's that?
The framing.
Oh, well, look at that.
I went to it by accident. I was like, oh, look.
So they're doing a middle grade book for Scholastic.
Yeah.
Which is basically Understanding Comics for kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
wow, that's really cool.
So I went over there. They were signing autographs. I could take or leave. I don't, It doesn't mean that much to me, but it was very nice of them to sign. And they drew pictures and everything. I never even looked at the pictures. I was so focused on information, basically, and telling the two of them that this book is like what Funny Books is all about. It's going to be an all ages, sort of how to make comics, graphic novel by Scholastic. This is going to be great. I told I was talking to Scott like how, boy, this really matches the flavor of our store, and this is going to be great for our business. This book here. So listen, that blew me away. That whole party.
Mm-hmm.
And you would not believe the offices. You can look at the Funny Books Instagram for some of these pictures, or Funny Books Facebook page.
I can? Or they can?
Anybody can. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am talking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you're saying you can. You can. You can look at this.
And thank you especially to David Saylor for basically throwing this party. And thank you for Matt from Scholastic, who was at the booth, who gave me the invitation. And everyone at Scholastic who everyone was really nice. After making a couple good impressions, I thought, I said to Valerie, let's get out of here. I can only ruin things now. And we did. And I didn't even tell you. We're walking out, and Milton Gripe, the guy who owned Capital City.
Right.
And he
did those
ICB too. He did the presentations. He's walking out too. So start talking. I wound up driving him all the way to 34th Street. Yeah, in my Pontiac. I was like, you want me to take the convertible top down? And Val got in the back.
Speaking of leaving, just one story about the DC while you were over there.
Yeah,
I was at the DC dinner.
Yeah.
So after the DC dinner was over, first of all, in like another room, like in the same place where we were, they were having like their party, like their after con Friday night.
Who
party.
was?
DC was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like we had this dinner, and then towards the end of our dinner, all these people, like Tom King showed up. All these people.
Oh,
started
yeah,
to this
right.
Party, and I was like, at first I was like, I bet I could go to that, but I didn't. But I was like, I got to go home because I knew I had another Saturday at Comic-Con. I had a long day planned at Comic-Con, and then I was going to a hockey game. I was like, I can't stay here and party with. It sounds cool, but I got to go. You know?
Yeah.
But the thing is that the restaurant that we were at, this place we were at, has like 4 ways to get in and out. And by this point, they closed 3 of them. And I could not find my way out of this building. I was like, all right, I said a whole like goodbye thing. Great people from DC. It was Nancy,
Matt, who was great. Yeah.
This other Matt. You were talking to him on the way out. That other Matt, the digital side guy.
Digital Matt, yeah.
He was also Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was
the guy I was talking about Kite Man with.
Yes. Someone else there. Her name was Anna, and they were also and some retailers were there that I was talking to, and so I said goodbye, and I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go, and I leave, and then like 2 minutes later I come back, and I'm like, I couldn't get out. Where am I going? And then the Anna from DC, she was like, I think you have to leave by going out up these escalators, except for the escalators weren't on anymore. But I was like, that's fine. Escalators that are turned off are just stairs.
Yeah.
You know, Mitch Hedberg. And so I go up.
Is he from Metallica?
No, he's an old comedian.
Oh.
He died, but he had a really funny bit where he said he loves escalators because an escalator can never break.
Yeah.
It can only become stairs.
Yes. That's good. That's a good line.
So I go up there, and the entrance or exit that was up there had like this big garage thing, like down and closed. I was like, okay, so now I have to come down past the DC folks again, and I'm like, I cannot find my way out of here. I came back and forth like 3 times before I had to ask them. I was like, how do I leave?
Yeah.
And they're like, there's the door. And I was like, and I finally got out of there. I was like, oh my God. If I have to walk past these people one more time, they're going to be like, how do these people run a store? They can't even leave a building.
Everyone's watching is like, so you left the party that Tom King was going to be at?
I know. Listen, I had to go.
And everyone else, I mean, I'd be surprised if Jim Lee maybe even could have been there.
I couldn't stay. It was
really?
Like, it was all,
dude. I went back into the city Friday night for Scholastic.
It was like after 11 o'clock already.
Yeah, I know.
And their thing was just starting. Well, like, first of all, comic people are crazy.
After 11 p.m., oh my
I had
goodness.
to get back home, and so I could be back. So I could be back at the show at 10 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Listen,
you know,
it was a long week. Let's put it that way. And I'm so glad I stuck it out and I did the.
I needed sleep.
Well, listen, I got that last night after working yesterday.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah, we started late today, didn't we? Anyway,
yeah, and we're now officially late. We've been open for 2 minutes.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, listen. What's ahead for Funny Books? It's fall, so everyone knows the time change is coming, and everyone knows what sale accompanies the time change. But right now, we do have 10th Power still going on. Bagged and boarded comics are buy 2, get 1 for 10%, 1 for 20%. The next one's 30, then 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 for your 9th one. 90% off, and then your 10th one's free. I'll be working Funny Books today, noon to 5, so stop by and see me. Thank you for turning your Sunday into ZUNDAY.
Gabingi. Was there something that you wanted to point out for next week or for last call or something? You mentioned before.
Absolute Wonder Woman is on next Wednesday. Okay. So I knew we had too much show to do next Wednesday, and last call I haven't really taken a look. Plus, I'm behind, obviously, on what's coming out and everything. So I have some catching up to do. But thank you for